Welcome to my weekly market roundup, 6th December 2020. I am Sagar Nandi. I am a retired IT professional swing trading stocks using the Q systems and techniques. You may contact me using my email ID tradingprofitably@gmail.com. I regularly share live market and stock analysis on my website, YouTube channel, and Twitter handle. You are most welcome to make use of them. Disclaimer: this demonstration is for educational purposes only. I am not an investment advisor. It is not a trade recommendation. Trading involves risk. You and only you are solely responsible for the outcome of your trades. These are the systems I use in my actual trading and their underlying platform. I'll not go through them. You may revisit them from my website. I will use the same systems in today's session as well. That was the last slide of my presentation. Let's start with the global markets as usual, starting with Australian index AXJO. The weekly is in clear uptrend. Shape and color both are bullish. Daily is in an uptrend supported by memory trendline support. Too close to upper boundary to take a new long trend. Japanese index topics. Weekly is bullish but not as bullish as the Australian index. The candle shape is indecisive. Daily is in an uptrend too close to the upper boundary, that is extended to the upside. China market CSI 300 index. Weekly is bullish, daily is bullish. Again, too close to the upper boundary, extended. UK market FTSE index. Very bullish weekly. This is the most bullish weekly candle that we have seen so far. In the last webinar, I mentioned that price was moving sideways and suggested waiting to see if it breaks to the upside or downside. It has broken to the upside at the point that is on Thursday. When it broke above the watermark resistance, you could look for breakout trades in individual fundamentally strong stocks. India's Nifty 50 index, that was the most bullish of the global markets and that is continuing. Very bullish weekly and bullish daily at the upper boundary, therefore extended. You remember not so long time ago, other than the Indian Nifty 50, all the other global markets were moving sideways for many weeks, weeks after weeks after weeks. I used to repeat as a broken record in every webinar. And now all the global markets, of course Indian market, but also the other global markets, all of them are in an uptrend and they are extended. That was quite a change from sideways market to uptrend. And while the global markets move to an uptrend, the USA market is continuing to be bullish. Let's look at the futures first. ES futures, E-mini S&P 500. Very bullish weekly, closed right at the high of the week. Daily is bullish, again close to the upper boundary level. Very bullish indeed. Made a new all-time high also this week. Nasdaq E-mini futures NQ. It was relatively weaker, though bullish, but relatively weaker. But this week, Nasdaq futures also broke to the upside, broke above the weekly watermark resistance, made a new all-time high. Daily is bullish, close to the upper boundary. Let's look at the other two markets using ETFs, using Q Elite on TradeStation. Dow Jones Industrial Average ETF DIA also broke out to the upside, closed clearly above the watermark resistance. On Friday, it closed right at the high of the day. Very bullish closing, close to the upper boundary. Russell 2000 ETF IWM. This had been the strongest of the market ETFs, shown by the relative performance sharply tilting up, and that continued this week. It's not the best performer for the week, however, this week is very bullish. Friday was very strong. On Friday, it was the best performer, and I am reading that from the sidebar. I have all the market ETFs. On Friday, IWM went up by 2.33%, followed by the other ETFs. All the other ETFs also went up, but IWM went up by 2.33%. The second one, SPY, went up by 0.86%. So IWM went up by a large percentage, much bigger than the rest. Whereas for the whole week, I have put all the market ETFs here using the weekly interval. For the week, QQQ is the best performer, went up by 2.18%, followed by IWM that went up by 2.08%. Now, if you look closely again, for the week, IWM is up 2.08%. On Friday, IWM is up by 2.33%. That means for the whole week, IWM didn't do anything. It in fact came down a little bit, and on Friday, it sharply moved to the upside. Looking at that, we have to assume that next week will also be bullish. All the market ETFs, all the market futures are very bullish. Let's look at the market internals now. We have that in Q Global. Let's look at the weekly periods, starting with the composite internals. That is Nasdaq Composite and NYSE Composite, and these are not the narrower ETFs or futures, these are the composite indices, and they also were very strong, both for Nasdaq and NYSE. Both made new all-time high, closed with bullish shape, bullish color candles. Internals were also very strong. New high low went up for both NYSE Nasdaq. Even advanced decline went up. Up down volume tilted down but closed in the positive. So the market internals are remaining very strong. The jump indicators have hit the red dots. That is the extreme extension that usually leads to a pullback. However, I am more concerned when both thrust and jumps are hitting red dots. Thrust, the top indicator, has not hit the red dots yet. That means it is extended, but when it jumped to the upside, it didn't move with high thrust. So it might not be exhausted yet. If it goes up little bit more, I expect the thrust also to hit the red dots. That will be more reason to be cautious. However, cautious doesn't mean the market is not bullish. Market is very bullish indeed, and there are plenty of trading opportunities using Q360 degrees technique. We'll look at some of them later. The composite indices are very bullish. Now let's look at the major market internals. Major indices internals, again I'll use the weekly interval. They are more reliable. This is Dow Jones Industrials using the same internals, new high low, advanced decline, up down volume. Dow Jones of course went up, and now we have new high low that also went up. Advanced decline went up down volume tilted down but closed positive. Thrust and jump are not extended yet. So this is bullish and not overbought yet using the weekly Dow Jones internals. Nasdaq 100. If we look at the internals, new high low went up. Advanced decline, up down volume are also bullish. Jump and thrust not extended yet, have not hit the red dots. S&P 500. Again the internals are very strong. Here new high low, advanced decline, up down volume all went up. Not extended yet in the weekly interval for jump and thrust. And S&P 1500. Again new high low, advanced decline, up down volume, all of them tilted up. When we look at the four major market internals, we see that S&P 500 and S&P 1500, which are broader than Dow Jones and Nasdaq 100, they were stronger in terms of advanced decline and up down volume, which shows that the bullish participation is broad, very broad. And we saw Russell 2000 also went up strongly. That also shows that market broad participation is there. On the other hand, as was in the previous week also, the mega caps did not do as well. This is the custom index mega cap top 20. The weekly candle closed with an indecisive shape candle right at the trend line support. In the daily, it is moving sideways, not going anywhere. Friday ended with a doji candle. This is the mega cap top 20 custom index. This, along with the major market indices internal study, shows that broad participation is there in the bullish move. However, the participation is not from the mega cap stocks. If we look at IBD 50 stocks, FFTY, in the weekly it is bullish. However, the candle shape is not as bullish as some of the other market ETFs or futures. Could not break above the watermark resistance in weekly, and daily closed below the trendline resistance. This seems to show that mega cap stocks are moving sideways. They are not falling, they are moving sideways, and growth stocks, IBD 50 style stocks, are also doing okay, but not as good as other stocks. What are the other stocks? I am studying a few charts created from QH regularly now. I have been studying them for more than few months now, and I am seeing for few months, not for this week, for few months. If we look at the top 10 stocks across 1-day period, 5-day period, 10-day period, and 1-month period, most of them are coming in the undervalued category. Majority of them. This area. Whereas you don't find many stocks in the high growth category, which would come to the right in these charts. Only one came here. That is showing a continuous shift probably from growth to value stocks, and it is not happening this week. You could look at this data on QEdge itself on your own computer. The undervalued stocks are outperforming the growth stocks, which also can be seen from FFTY underperforming, for example, Russell 2000. On the other hand, this week I created another chart that is not of the top 10 stocks but the bottom 10 stocks. Again, over 1-day, 5-day, 10-day, and 1-month period. And here you see some growth stocks. Let's say earnings growth percentage above 25%. Here you find at least some. So the bottom 10 stocks across different periods are showing some high growth stocks. High growth meaning annual earning growth at least 25%, not extremely or very high growth, but some growth. Whereas the top performers don't have the growth stocks, the bottom performers have. That is confirming the notion that value stocks are doing better. And using Q systems, Edge Vital Index, you can easily look for the value stocks. My preferred stocks are of course stocks that are undervalued and that are starting to show earnings growth. I call them star candidates. They are also very easy to find using few mouse clicks, and I regularly share trading ideas on the star candidates. We will look at few of them later. Though the growth stocks are underperforming the value stocks and mega caps are underperforming the broad market, the market clearly is bullish. When we look at the market futures, ETFs, market composite internals, major market internals, all the market level forces. Now let's look at the other chart that I share every week. That is week to week comparison of sector performance. Week to week comparison, red bars represent current week, green bars previous week, and the left chart is from 1 week ago. So 1 week ago, market was very bullish. All the 11 sectors were up, and prior to that, it was bullish again. 10 sectors were up, only utilities was down. That was 1 week ago, and this week, again red bars represent current week. It's very strong again. Once again, utilities is the only one that is down, and 1 week ago the green bars show all the sectors were up. These two charts are showing for 3 successive weeks the market has been extremely bullish. All sectors are up, almost all sectors. Sometimes the utilities was down, but other than that, almost all sectors, 90 to 100% of sectors have been up for 3 consecutive weeks. Looking at that, one might expect some kind of weakness, but there is no weakness in the market. Whether you look at the futures, ETFs, internals, or sector strength. Let's drill down a bit more into sector, industry, stock, advanced decline strength. again using Q edge. If we look at these charts that show the advanced decline strength from 1 month to 1 day period for the sectors, industries and stocks, it's full of green color everywhere. That means from 1 month to 1 day, Friday, market is very strong. No weakness whatsoever. If we look at 1 day period, Friday, 11 sectors are up. All sectors are up. And if we look at 2 day period, Thursday, Friday, only one is down. Again, utilities is that one sector that is down. So utilities is showing some weakness across multiple periods. And if we look at 5 day period for the week, 10 sectors up, one down. Which one is down? Utilities. Over 10 days, 2 weeks, 10 sectors up, one is down. Which one is down? Utilities. And over 1 month, everything is up, the blue bars. And utilities up by relatively smaller percentage, but it is up. Which sector is up the most week after week? Energy. Followed by several other sectors. If we look at the 1 month period, the blue bars, other than energy, there are many sectors that went up by almost 20 or more percentage. Communication services went up by 24 percentage. Consumer discretionary 20. Financials 20 percentage. Materials 22. Real estate 23 percentage for the month. Blue bars are for the month. Followed by several sectors that went up by close to 20%. Industrials 18%, information technology 18%. And then few other sectors also went up. Very spread out strength in the market. Not so long ago, energy was the worst performer, and when energy turned around, you could identify that easily from the sector rotation heat map in Q edge. Sector analysis is showing clear strength. Industry and stock advanced decline is also showing very bullish strength. If we look at the market from another angle, and this time using Q finder, that is not using market ETFs, market futures, market sectors, but technical breadth using your own trading universe. I have run Q finder on my trading universe, liquid stocks and S&P 1500. This is the weekly period showing the balance between bulls and bears for the week using all the important Q signals. All signals very bullish 72%, strength signals bullish again 76%, trend continuation 70% bullish, reversal signals 72% bullish. Everything is bullish. I think in the last YouTube live session I showed that the reversal signals might have been not so strong as the other signals, but now all signals are bullish, including reversal signals. If you want to know where the bullish signals are coming from, that is from which price level of the stocks, price extreme high, medium or low, we can see only 6% of the bullish signals are coming from stocks that are at price extreme low. 37% are coming from stocks that are at price extreme high. And as expected, majority of them are coming from price extreme medium. It is Important to note that 37, not a very small percentage of the bullish signals are coming from stocks that are already at price extreme high, and that is also using the weekly interval. So the strong stocks are continuing to go up. If we look at the bearish signals, where are they coming from? Overall, of course, bullish signals are much more than bearish signals. We saw it from here, the overall signals. But if we just looked at the bearish signals, then we see some of the signals are coming at price extreme high, very few from price extreme low, and as expected, majority from price extreme middle. So some stocks that were at high price are showing weakness, and also many stocks at price extreme high are continuing to go up. And overall, again, the market is very bullish for the weekly interval. And when I say market, it is using your own trading universe, stock universe. If I look at Finder for Friday, again, it is very bullish across all the categories. Whether it is all signals, strength signals, continuation or reversal signals, everything is bullish. When the market is bullish, we try to take only long trades. And I shared several such trade ideas in the market. Let's look at, why don't I use Q edge? Let's try to do a top-down analysis today and try to find some trading ideas, and I will do fundamental first. In Q 360 degrees technique, you may use multiple workflows. One could be starting from sector and drill down, that is top-down approach. One could be starting with Q finder, or if you are using Q elite on TradeStation, you could use TradeStation Q scans or TradeStation Q radar. That will be bottom up, starting with technical scans. And third workflow is to use fundamental first. If you are using fundamental first, you could start with the stocks in Q edge, like I am doing now. I am going to the stocks in Q edge that has all the S&P 1500 stocks. Alternatively, you could go to Q vital and carry out fundamental analysis on your own stock universe. You may have different classifications of them, like liquid stocks, mid price, high price, low price stocks, or other categories like liquid options, so on and so forth. You could carry out a fundamental analysis of these custom stock groups and then look for trade setups there. For now, let me go back to Q edge, and I'm going to do a fundamental first analysis based on the S&P 1500 stocks. I'm going to use the smart filter buttons, starting with the 3-star, which is going to give me the stocks that are having great valuation and great earnings growth in the last quarter. That is usually my starting point, the 3-star candidates. If I find enough trades from there, I take it and stop. If I don't find enough trades from there, then I may go to the next criteria, which is little bit relaxed, that is 1-star, that is going to find stocks that are either undervalued or having earnings growth. Usually using one of these two smart filters, I find trades. If you wanted, you could do further analysis like box stock analysis using the other smart filters. I made a tutorial on Q Edge Vital Index. You may learn about how to mix and match the different smart filters along with the star candidate filters and the insight categories from that tutorial. For now, I'm going to click 3-star and all these stocks are undervalued with earnings growth, my favorite stock category. And you can see many of them went up by significant percentage on Friday. Looking at the 1-day percentage change, I don't want to open all the stocks charts because there are many stocks. Instead, I want to select all the stocks that went up by at least 2% on Friday and click lookup finder action button. That's going to tell me which of these stocks had some kind of Q signal or trade setup on Friday. Once I click lookup finder, it takes me to finder, shows me all those stocks that I selected that went up by at least 2%, and you can see the orange cells showing Q signals. I may sort by the cumulative number of Q signals, or I could sort by percentage change. Let me now try to find some trade setup from these stocks. Let me choose the stocks that went up by at least 5%. What have I done so far? I have selected the most fundamentally strong stocks, that is stocks that are strong in terms of both valuation and earnings growth. Then I have shortlisted stocks that have some kind of trade signal. Okay, I can see these two don't have any trend signal today. This one also doesn't have any trade signal today. I can see that from the gray color in the cumulative number of signals on Friday. So I deselected them. Now I am left with the stocks that are fundamentally strong, went up by at least 5% and gave some kind of Q signal on Friday, the orange color signals. Now I'm going to open them. You could open them using Q Elite Radar, using the grid or radar or table action button, or you could open them using Q Global on Metastock using the chart icon. Usually I like to open using Metastock. It will open all the charts using default Q entry daily chart template. I'll go through them one by one. If there is a low risk entry opportunity, I will stop. This is very deep. It is breaking out of the trend line resistance. However, Friday's candle has an upper trail. So I'm going to not look at it right now. This is RMBS, very bullish but extended to the upside, much above the upper boundary. I'm not going to trade it now. Remember when I showed the statistical charts on Q Finder, I pointed you to the fact that stocks that were at the price extreme high, many of them are continuing to go up. So this is one of them, RMBS, at price extreme high and went up sharply again on Friday with bullish pressure. So if you are long such stocks, there is no need to exit them. For Friday's entry, it is extended for my style, so it's bullish but don't have a low risk entry point. I'm going to close it. Unit group, UNIT. This is giving a low risk breakout entry, breaking out of trendline resistance, has many trendline supports nearby, one after another by memory supports. Broke out with bullish pressure, so this is giving a possible breakout trade setup. I'm going to keep it and move on to the next stock. Later on I will come back and revisit unit using at a glance weekly daily template. CUBI. If you are following me on my website and or YouTube videos, you would have noticed I suggested buying CUBI long time ago. Since then it has gone up. On Friday it gave bullish flow again. However, it is too close to the upper boundary. I would have bought much before. I would not like to buy on Friday. It is bullish but extended. Also there is a trend line resistance not so far from here. Closing this stock. Dcom, Dime Community. This is also at the upper boundary. However, it is very nicely moving up in a waveform, uniform waveform with higher lows and higher highs. So I might not mind taking a long position in Dcom. Though it is near the upper boundary, it has very nice waveform pattern gradually going up. Let me keep it for now. TSE. This one I am not going to buy. The difference between TSE and the stock Dcom is, though both are at the upper boundary, Dcom is nicely going up in a waveform, sine waveform pattern, uniform pattern. So I don't mind buying it. Whereas TSE moved sideways and then broke out. That is the difference. However, the breakout didn't happen with bullish pressure or very high volume. Of course, breakout traders, I am not a typical breakout trader. Breakout traders might further investigate looking at the industry strength, but I am not usually a breakout trader, so I would rather take the previous stock Dcom than TSE. Dcom would have given me a go with flow long setup. So I'm closing TSE for now. AXL, this is looking nice. This is not at the upper boundary yet, has excellent trend line support plus support from the white as well as yellow direction line. Earlier it was below yellow and white direction lines both. Then it went up, pulled back little bit, shallow pullback, didn't come close to the previous low, went up again and holding above both the direction lines and has an excellent trend line support from the memory trend line. The memory trend lines work very well. A stock gradually going up in an uptrend with high high low, pulling back to value area. Just on Friday went up with a bullish flow candle. That is the go with flow long trade setup. Low risk entry opportunity in an uptrending stock. So I'm going to keep AXL, CYH. This is also giving a nice breakout trade setup at a price level which seems to give support. Earlier it sharply came down to that area but found support. Retesting that area, found support again on Friday. Friday candle shape is very bullish and it has a bullish flow as well, plus a bull release signal. Let me keep this also. FTI. This is a gap up open and very bullish close on Friday. This is FTI. However, it is right at the white direction line and a bit extended for my style. If you did the analysis that I am doing just now, you would have entered this stock FTI on this day using the go with flow long trade setup. I think this day. This day. this should be the optimal entry point. You could book partial profit for short-term trading and you could continue to hold partial position. You might put stop just below the trend line support now. That is how, if you are using Q systems, you would be able to find the stocks right when they start to move. And remember, I am only looking at stocks that are 3-star in terms of fundamentals. So you would have seen this as a 3-star buying candidate going through a long trade setup on this day using the Q systems analysis. Now I am not going to buy it. RYAM, very bullish, but I am not used to chasing stocks. Certainly very bullish because Friday has a very long candle, bullish flow, bullish pressure, very high volume. However, I don't like to chase stocks, so I will skip RYAM. ABG, near upper boundary, I am going to skip this. ICHR, another stock that is going up in almost straight line, too extended for me, going to skip that. Another stock, PLAB, also very strong. Some of them are in semiconductor industry. Strong but extended, close. KOP, again too close to upper boundary. When I just look at the chart, once I look, if I don't feel comfortable, I close it. And if you use Q systems, because it is color driven and you don't have to read indicator values, you don't have to compare indicators with thresholds, you don't have to juggle with parameters, instantly almost you can decide whether you see a trade setup that is low risk or not. KOP, I'm not comfortable, I'm going to close. TDC, in fact on this day TDC gave a very nice go with flow long trade setup, and after that you could have booked partial profit when it hit the upper boundary. Now it is breaking out of the trend line resistance. However, just closed at the trend line resistance and there is another trend line resistance nearby. If you are again carrying out the same exercise every day, you would be already long on this day using go with flow long setup. Why would you buy now? That is the question, and I would not like to buy on Friday. In fact, when I was talking using Zoom with some of the traders, I had mentioned earlier that I took a long trade in TDC. That is how, if you are watching and using the simple 360 reason, you would be able to catch the stocks right when they are starting to move, which would be on this day using go with flow long trade setup and great fundamentals, so you don't hesitate probably to buy the stock. Now I'm not going to buy. Next stock, LOCO, close to a memory resistance. I'm not going to buy it. Close it. Back to Unitcom. So I am now left with UNIT, DCOM, AXL, CYH, 4 stocks. Let's look at them using at a glance template. I could use Q Global on Metastock, but let's use Trade Station also. Otherwise, Trade Station will feel left out. Let's look at UNIT first. Daily is breaking out with bullish pressure. We already saw that. We also saw Friday's candle had an upper tail, small relative to the body, but still it closed little bit below the high of the day. And for me, more importantly, weekly is near the long-term watermark resistance. So I think I will find better setup than this, so I'm going to skip it. Let's look at the next stock, unit and Dcom. Was it Dcom? DCOM? Yes, Dcom. Regional banks. Weekly very strong. There is no trend line or another kind of resistance nearby. Daily strong with trend line support. Friday's candle very strong. Though it is above upper boundary as I mentioned, because it is going up with a very nice waveform with high low. If at all I am going to buy at the upper boundary, this is the kind of stock I don't mind buying. Fundamentally, I already know it is very strong. I came to the stocks by finding 3-star candidates. I will check its industry strength later. I'll keep it in mind. Dcom. How do I keep it in mind? Usually I have a sticky note on my computer. I put it there or I add it to my watch list in QLE Trader like I'm doing now, so I don't forget. Dcom went up by 6.7% on Friday, closed right near the high of the day. I still have two more stocks to look at. One was CYH, Community Health Systems, healthcare facility stock. This was the earnings week shown by the white dot. That week had extreme high volume, then it sharply went up, pulled back little bit the following week, that is expected after 2 weeks of very high price move. However, the pullback didn't change the backdrop color, it was still bullish, and since then for 2 weeks it is moving sideways. That means it is holding on to the gain that came after the earnings. This week's candle shape is bullish, color is neutral but shape is bullish, and I can see another long lower tail candle here. So somebody must be buying at this price level, and that price level is also above the watermark resistance, longer term watermark resistance, pivot resistance. That resistance may now act as support. So the weekly is telling me that I am okay to buy. In daily, and this part we already saw from Q Global, it is finding support at this price level, and on Friday it gave a bull release signal with bullish flow. Stop loss is narrow, there is no resistance nearby, the next resistance is far away. So this is giving a low risk entry opportunity in a stock that is holding on to its price level. I'll have to check its industry strength. I have already noted it in radar. And the last stock that I found, let's check that out using at a glance weekly daily template, AXL. Bullish shape, bullish color in the weekly, very bullish shape and color in daily with trendline support above white and yellow direction lines. This is giving a textbook go with flow long trade setup. Textbook doesn't mean it's guaranteed to make profit, but it is a textbook go with flow long trade setup with stop just below the trend line, support and initial target at the upper boundary. Looking at the chart, it looks like it is going to hit the upper boundary maybe in couple of days. Of course, maybe means maybe, we never know for sure, but this is the kind of setup that I don't mind taking, and their success rate seems to be high enough for me to make some money, as can be seen from the trade ideas I share on my traders forum. But whether you will get that result or not, you have to test it out using the same technique. If you are not getting acceptable result, I think the Q diary may help. If you log all your trades, and logging is very important, especially when you are learning, so you know what is not going right and what is going right. You avoid what is going not right and continue to do what is giving you profit. And I can tell you one secret question if you ask yourself, and that secret question will almost guaranteed to make you money if you ask that question yourself before taking a trade. And some of the secrets I don't disclose, but let me disclose. The question that you ask yourself before clicking the buy or short button is this: the last 10 times that I took a trade like this, did that make me money? You ask that question. I repeat again. When you decide on a stock, you analyze. If you are Q trader, you are of course going to look at fundamental, technical, industry, everything. You align them. You look at the pattern, then you ask yourself. And if you are not a Q trader, whichever system you are using, you have some technique hopefully, and you ask whether you have technique or not. You ask yourself, the last 10 times you took this kind of trade, did it make you money? If the answer is yes, okay, let me add one word. Did that make you money consistently with good risk management? If the answer is yes, you place the trade. If last 10 times it worked, it's most likely it is going to work the next 10 times also. But if the honest answer to that question is that no, the last 10 times I took this kind of setup, and whatever be the setup, be it using fundamental, technical, industry, or just technical, if the answer is no, don't take the trade. And if you can ask that question, give an honest answer, and act upon the answer, not what you decided before answering the question, act upon the answer, I think you are going to make some money, vastly improve your current result. So that is one secret question you may keep in mind. It will work wonders. If you are not consistently profitable yet, ask that question, it will work wonders. And the diary, Q diary, helps in that. Q diary helps ask that question, that what happened in my past 10 trades, past 20 trades, past 100 trades. And when you ask that question, you will get better week after week. And after some time, being good or better than average traders will be part of your trading self. You don't have to try. Let's now come back to our trades. That was a valuable secret, by the way. Let's look at the charts again, and I will look at them one by one. DCOM, bullish weekly, bullish daily at upper boundary, but for me, I am okay to buy it. Regional banks. CYH, consolidating at support level above watermark, which should be support now, then resistance, breaking out of resistance, giving a breakout setup. AXL, bullish backdrop at trendline support, bullish flow in daily, giving a go flow long trade setup. All of them are valid trades in my view using Q techniques, but what I have to check is whether their industry strength is strong. I may as well do a full fundamental analysis of the stocks. Let's start with Dcom, and I am using Q Vital to do the fundamental analysis. It's a regional banks. It makes money. EPS is positive, pays a dividend of 3.4%. Let me check the industry. I click the cog icon to check the industry. Regional banks as an industry, not the strongest, not the weakest, However, paste columns are showing that it is accelerating. The acceleration allows us to buy even if it is not the strongest, and this is showing the relative score of regional banks. We saw the market is very bullish, so relatively it may not be the strongest but accelerating, and if I look at the percentage, it is pretty strong. On Friday, the industry as a whole went up by 2.6%. It is consistently going up for many months now, for 8 months. Over 8 months to over 1 day, it is all positive. So I am allowed to buy in the industry. If I go back to Q Vital, is continuing to retrieve data, but that's fine. I already found a stock that is having great valuation, earnings growth, strong industry, has a possible trend following long setup. Let me check the next stock. That would be CYH. Healthcare facilities. Let's check its industry. Strong industry. You can see the difference between regional banks and healthcare facilities. Regional bank also went up. We saw that from industry percentage move. Healthcare facilities relatively strong, so it must be going up with bigger percentage. Let's check that out from industry percentage. Yes, on Friday it went up by 3.4% and also consistently going up. It is also accelerating, shown by the pace columns. So CYH we may buy, industry is strong, and we already know these stocks to be star candidates with great valuation, earnings growth. We have short squeeze potential also, and 100% of stocks in healthcare facilities went up on Friday. So CYH is giving another buy setup using 360 degrees technique. The last stock that I wanted to check is AXL. Retrieving data from Reuters. I never store any data on my computer, local data. Everything is in real time. While it is retrieving, I may go to Q. Okay, let's wait. Give it a few seconds. I found AXL from Q Edge, so I could also go back to Q Edge. Go to Stocks tab. Refresh from Cache. Look for AXL. This is from where I identified it in the first place. Great valuation, earnings growth in the latest quarter, short squeeze potential went up by 7.6% on Friday, 25% below 52-week high to 35% above 52-week low. But still it is giving a buy setup. We don't have to always catch the very bottom. And why I came here, from here also, by clicking the cog icon, I may check the industry out. Very strong industry. In fact, of all the industries that we saw for these three stocks, auto parts and equipment is the strongest. And I am not relying on media report or anything, just using reliable data in real time coming from Refinitiv or Reuters, and visually able to decide that AXL's industry is the strongest and it is strongest for a while. So there are three setups, all of them are buyable in my view. All three are in different industries. AXL is certainly very strong. CYH is also strong. Healthcare sector and Dcom banking. industry. That is how you are able to find low risk buy setups in today's market. Though the market is up for a long time, we saw that from QH home, this snapshot. Whether we look at 1 month period to 1 day period, it is extremely bullish, but as you could see, using simple mouse clicks and visual tools, you are able to find low risk buying opportunities. What I am avoiding, as I demonstrated, is buying stocks that are overvalued, and that overvalued maybe in terms of technicals, maybe in terms of fundamentals. I always avoid buying them. I buy stocks at low risk buy point in terms of technicals, and I prefer to buy either value or growth stocks, or even better if they are star candidates like value plus growth, like the 3 stocks I could identify today. Market is bullish. Only reason for caution, again, same thing that I explained in the last few webinars also, is that it is bullish for a long time. So you may manage the number of positions you have following your own guideline. We are at 1 hour point. Let's end today's session here. Thanks a lot for attending. I look forward to seeing you in my next session, which will be on Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the same YouTube channel. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Keep safe and trade profitably.